Hello, everyone. You're watching Business of Sports on CricketNext with me, Suramya Kaushik. I'm your host, and today I've come up with a very interesting topic which is relatable to all of us. Now, first tell me, how do you identify the Indian cricket team? The blue jersey, isn't it? And we all have a number of memories and emotions attached to that jersey. And if I remember it correctly, that we always associate that jersey to the sponsors, like the Sahara one, the Baiju's one, isn't it? But here, what we are listening these days is that Baiju's won't continue as the sponsor for the Indian cricket team jersey. In the last episode, we talked about that what will happen to the Indian cricket jersey, who will be the next sponsor, what's BCCI doing. I have set a bunch of questions here, and to find out all the correct answers this time again, I have with me Network 18 Group Sports Editor K. Shriniwas Rao, who always answers my questions. And this time, Srini, I have come up with a question related to something which is you wearing this time. It's the Indian cricket team jersey. Hello, Srini.
Yes.
Welcome to the Business of Sports.
Thank you. And I'm wearing a jersey which is reminiscent of the cricket that was there when I started off as a journalist, and quite a few memories attached with these jerseys. You can see Nike here, you can see Sahara here. I'll come up with another one in some time. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, so basically, why I wore this is because to say that people don't understand when we say jersey sponsorship and apparel sponsorship, what's the difference? So the
Hmm.
difference is that this is the BCCI jersey
Hmm.
logo, of course. I know where
Logo.
BCCI come from. Yes, this Nike sign that you see here, this is for the apparel sponsorship, right?
Hmm.
A kit sponsorship, the kit that the Indian team wears.
Yeah.
This jersey that I'm wearing, it's a Nike
Hmm.
jersey. The bleed blue campaign that Nike used to have, and
Hmm.
how it kind of the material, the texture of this cloth that I'm wearing. This is what changed for Indian
Hmm.
cricket in terms of the kit that they wore, right? And
Yeah.
Nike came as the kit sponsor of the team. Sahara, what I see here, this is the jersey sponsor. By virtue of being the
Hmm.
jersey sponsors, they basically own the chest of the jersey,
Hmm.
for which the sponsor pays a good deal of money. I can tell you, Baiju is paying somewhere around 5 crore for a
Hmm.
bilateral game, 1.7 crore for an ICC game. So this is
Yeah.
for this space. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, please ask, please go ahead, and we can. There's a lot to talk.
Yes, absolutely. And firstly, actually, this is so nostalgic, right, to see this jersey. And I just introduced that we all remember Indian cricket team jerseys because of the sponsors. We used to call it the Sahara jersey. Sometime back, we were calling it, have you seen this new Baiju's jersey, relating it to the Indian cricket team jersey? So obviously, sponsors are very, very important. But Srini, in the last episode, we talked about, BCCI's problems. First, we talked about, the tender for the bilateral cricket rights, and
Yeah.
we had discussed that at length in our previous episodes as well. And in the last episode, we talked about what could be the solution and all of that. Then we also
Yeah.
touched upon, how Cricket Next broke the story about Adidas as the apparel sponsor. And we had a
Yes.
brief
Yes.
discussion regarding, how Baiju's was associated with the BCCI. Will they be there with the Indian cricket team or not? And you talked about a lot many things. Srini, I need a clear picture here. What's BCCI doing? Is BCCI looking forward to other sponsors? Have they found one? What's going on?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, so apparel wise, BCCI has signed up Adidas, right?
Hmm.
Although the value at which they have signed Adidas is almost half of what Nike was paying them.
Mhm.
But as I say, I'm okay. I'm okay with getting a sponsor at even 50% of the value, as long as there is a sanctity. You're not talking about just any jersey. It's a
Mm.
Indian team national jersey. You
Yeah.
represent the country wearing that jersey. So I believe some standards have to be upheld. And I believe that when you're talking the apparel brands being associated with a jersey as big as the Indian cricket team, then I would like
Yeah.
to say that global leaders of in that field should be associated, and that's why
Yeah.
Nike's replacement ideally should have been an Adidas or a Puma, and I'm glad that finally Adidas is on board. I'm not going to go
Yeah.
into the numbers. Really, numbers don't matter so much as the brand does.
Yeah.
And second, okay, numbers don't matter. Any numbers do matter, but that's a
Hmm.
separate story. And BCCI needs to go back and
Absolutely.
try and understand, what they can do
Hmm.
better for their partner. But that's another
Hmm.
subject. Right now, what
Hmm.
matters is the brand.
Hmm.
So again, Adidas is on board as a kit sponsor, and I was talking to some people in BCCI recently, just a couple of days ago,
Hmm.
and yeah, well, they are getting ready with their tender document, for the bilateral rights, as we discussed in our
Hmm.
previous episode. We as the tender document comes out, we'll have another show, and I'm sure we can talk about it.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
leaves the space for right now, that from a sponsorship standpoint, the one slot that BCCI needs to fill, and fill immediately, is
Hmm.
this
Yeah.
Sahara के बाद पहले होता था. First there used to be Wills Trophy,
Hmm.
remember? Wills
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wills Wills gave ITC used to own it. Wills gave way to Sahara gave way to Star gave way to Oppo gave way to Byju's, and now Byju's are also gone out. So who comes in place of Byju's? That's the
Hmm.
important subject of discussion.
Well, absolutely. This is very important to discuss here, Shreni. And we have been talking about Baiju's deal with BCCI, the numbers. We have talked about all of this, in our previous episodes as well. But here, as you just showcased that jersey to us, Sahara written on it, and all of that, I want to know that how did Sahara and BCCI manage to carry forward their relationship for so many years, how that longevity happened between the two, what's the whole story? Because Sahara, we saw Sahara written on the Indian cricket team jersey for a very long time. Now,
Yeah.
what was the whole story, and why can't we see similar thing right now? So if you can, throw some light on Sahara and BCCI.
Yeah, you touched upon a very important subject. Longevity is everything. So why was there a time where we would see longevity in contract deals? For the longest time, Sahara had was there in the Indian team jersey. If you look at Indian team jerseys of the past, the shades of blue may have changed, but
Yeah.
Sahara on the jersey remained, kind of permanent until
Yeah.
almost 2011, 12, 13, 2012, 2013. Which is when, just hold on, I'll show it to you. So this was
Yeah.
Sahara, and 2012, 13 onwards, you had this jersey that came in, Star India,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's on the screen, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So Sahara was there, and then Star was there, and these were like long-term deals that happened. And these they stayed as partners of Indian cricket for a very long time. So it's a very
Hmm.
valid question. What was it about these deals that longevity was kind of was ensured? Well, I'll break this down into a couple of talking points. Number one,
Okay.
um, you know, the association was not just based on the business alone. The
Hmm.
association was also based on the fact that these brands genuinely wanted to stay associated with Indian cricket, right?
Hmm.
So in terms of whatever they were planning, in terms of whatever media exercises, publicity, visibility, see, any sponsor comes on board to take over a
Hmm.
space, the primary reason is visibility, right?
Hmm.
And we're talking about a pre-digital era. When Sahara was there, internet was, I mean, had arrived in our lives, but again, technology, internet was not so much into our lives, and we were not dependent on it to the extent that we are today, right?
Yeah.
So it was still the old world charm that existed, and in that, cricket was, as I say, and I kind of beginning to show what kind of market scale could it capture. And I think
Hmm.
Sahara was very clear that in whatever it did,
Hmm.
India was an aspirational country, and they wanted to
Yeah.
kind of benefit from those aspirational levels. And cricket, by virtue of being a popular sport, gave them the kind of visibility it did. And
Hmm.
the market was not so crowded.
mm,
IPL was not there. Remember, right? The IPLs when Sahara was new with Indian cricket, there was an IPL. The only brand that existed with Indian cricket was Sahara. So
mm,
imagine the what is the kind of mileage that the brand received by its association with Indian cricket. And of course, they paid top dollar for it. Top
mm.
dollar for it, right?
Yeah.
So theirs was a different reason why they
Mm,
were associated with the Indian team. Then 10
mm,
years later, when Star arrived, Star
mm.
wanted to grab the jersey. I showed you that jersey, right? Star wanted to
Yeah.
grab the jersey after Star bought the broadcast rights of Indian cricket. They wanted the jersey space for Star India, right? I
Mm,
remember a lot of people asking around back then that, these guys have bought the rights to Indian cricket. The logo itself appears on the screen of the television, the Star logo, every time I see an India match. If that is
mm,
already the case, why would I still go and pay more money to grab the jersey? But
mm,
Star's idea was different. Star wanted to stay associated with Indian cricket at all levels. At all
mm.
levels. They just wanted Star, the brand Star, the word Star to be synonymous with Indian cricket, just the
Indian
way
cricket.
Sahara had been. Sahara had been,
Mm,
right?
mm.
I would
Yeah.
change that. Not Indian cricket, cricket in India, or rather
Ah,
cricket associated with India,
ah,
right? But this
right.
was all happening. Okay, I mean, Star did come around 2012, but by
Mm,
then, IPL had already, arrived and settled down. There was 4 or 5 years of IPL had already, kind of been over, were over. Like, but the after effects of what the IPL was doing to the market was yet to settle. That's why if you go to see, Star continued with the sponsorship of jersey for the next 4 to 5 years, 6 years, right?
mm.
Until almost
Yeah.
2016,
Mm,
17 is until when they continued sponsoring the Team India jersey. That is before Oppo came on board, right?
mm,
Now, longevity was also because of the fact that until these years, it is only Team India that was the biggest selling point where the game of cricket was concerned. And India,
mm,
from a brand perspective, if you had to associate yourself with cricket, which guaranteed you visibility, the Indian
mm,
cricket team was the only space to go to. Which I am
mm,
saying that 2008, yes, the IPL began to change things, but it did take another 6, 7 years for the mindsets to change along with it, where
mm,
potential sponsors began to realize that, okay, don't have to necessarily tie up with the Indian cricket team at that value anymore. I can
mm.
go an
Yeah.
IPL sponsor. I can go to a Mumbai Indians and I can go to CSK, where the
Mm,
tournament itself is not more than kind of 2.5 months, but the number of
mm.
matches are fixed. I know exactly what is the kind of money that I'm paying, and
Yeah.
once the player is wearing my jersey on the spot and being covered by the media and going on television, that branding is going to stay associated for the whole year. Doesn't matter even if the
Absolutely.
IPL is just a 2 month team. So I'll give you an example.
Mm,
Today, if Virat Kohli may not wear the RCB jersey for the whole year, Virat Kohli
mm,
wears the RCB jersey for only 2.5 months, right?
mm.
But
Yeah.
the marketing team at RCB doesn't look at it as a 2.5 month exercise. The
Yeah.
marketing team at RCB looks at brand Virat's association, or rather wearing the RCB jersey, as a year-long exercise, right? Same
Yeah.
with Mumbai Indians, Rohit Sharma, more so with Chennai Super Kings and Mahindra Singh Dhoni.
Tony.
So
Yeah.
today, what I'm trying to say was, today the opportunities are that much more,
Mm,
for the brands to go looking for visibility. And in
mm,
fact, I'll also add one small thing, yes, Ramya, that
mm.
when we talk about Sahara,
Yeah.
Sahara was, again, old age business. I mean, half the times people wondered what was the business, but I like, from whatever, I mean, tell airlines to everything that they were, whatever they were trying to do. Point I'm trying to make is, they were not modern day companies which are driven by technology. Okay,
Mm,
so even Star wasn't until the arrival of Hotstar. Okay,
yeah.
even Star was traditionally a linear broadcasting business, right?
Yeah.
So from that perspective, things still moved in the old world pace.
Hmm.
what happened post 2018, the onset of technology and the digital era in sport,
Hmm.
live sport, began to kind of see new age businesses coming and sponsoring cricket, because cricket guaranteed you immediate eyeballs, right? So
Yeah.
I'll give an example. Let's say you and me are putting a startup in place, which is like, I think,
Hmm.
logical people don't do anything. They say, like, how do we pass time? Okay, let's do a startup,
Let's
right?
do a startup.
So that's the
Yeah.
pace at which you have startups today.
Yeah.
And so in startups, like, there is funding which is coming, and there is immediate visibility that is required to make the numbers visible, so to bring up those numbers so that the funding continues. So visibility in today's day and time is everything, right?
Hmm.
And to seek that visibility, what these new age fintech companies and all do is they think that associating with cricket in some way or the other guarantees you eyeballs, and that's why it guarantees you visibility. And that's why you
Yeah.
see companies like, Upstocks, Grow, Cred,
Yeah.
all of them from a fintech,
Of these
this thing.
companies.
The way they rush to cricket, because cricket guarantees them eyeballs, right?
Yeah.
But why are these deals short lived? Is because they are just here for the numbers. They don't have any
Yeah.
emotion, long term emotion investment in sport. Like, look at Upstocks. Upstocks is very
Hmm.
clear. That was, I needed these kind of numbers in my, kind of in terms of the visibility that I was seeking. One, probably max 2 years of IPL. I get those numbers. I move on. I'm not Sahara, and I'm not Star. With a, I'm not looking
I
here
mean,
to
there's
set
a lot
shop
of
over a period of
competition
10
as well.
years.
As you mentioned, there's a lot of competition as well
Exactly.
because there are a number
Exactly.
of companies out there. And obviously, as you also talked about, that it's not that the only Indian cricket team is playing matches and you have that jersey only to actually put your brand name on the jersey. You have other teams as well. And with IPL,
Exactly.
obviously, a number of things have
So,
changed.
in fact,
Yeah.
I remember in one of our previous episodes, I think we talked about this, where, barring RCB and Mumbai Indians, I'm still waiting to see how many franchises are attracting international brands as jersey sponsors. So RCB
Hmm.
got Qatar, and
Qatar, yeah.
Mumbai Indians, let's say, for example, were the first. Actually, they had Samsung on the jersey, right?
Hmm.
Most of the other players, most, I'm saying, are still playing with Indian names. Let's see, mind you, don't go by apparel sponsors. People will confuse. People will say, no, we have Adidas, we have this, we have. Don't go by apparel kit sponsors. I'm saying jersey
Sure.
rights, chest,
Hmm.
selling the chest, right? So
Hmm.
RCB got a phenomenally good deal. I mean, and we know, I mean, brand Virat, what kind of a difference does brand Virat make to their
Absolutely.
campaigns, right? And
Yeah.
And that's why, I mean, without having won a single year, even then they have managed to up their game. That is
Hmm.
obviously because of the one superstar in their ranks. MS
Hmm.
Dhoni's association with Chennai Super Kings. So CSK is a successful franchise, no doubt about it. It's got a massive fan following, no doubt about it. And to top it, that man alone adds unprecedented value.
Yeah.
So likewise, Mumbai Indians has its own charm. Five times champions. It's
Hmm.
like, Rohit is, of course, by in itself, is a great brand. So I'm
Hmm.
saying these brands, these sponsors who are coming to eye for the jersey space or chest space, they're happy. They're
Hmm.
happy with the kind of visibility that they're getting. The onus
Exactly.
now is on
Uh,
the Indian team to. I think that I have a solution, actually.
I
I,
listen to that solution. I listen to that solution, and I'll come
so
back to it a little bit. Yeah.
yeah. No, no,
I'll
sir,
come
please go
back
ahead.
to the solution. I'll come back to the solution after this question of mine. My question is that you just mentioned a very interesting point out there that RCB managed to get Qatar Airways, right, on their jersey. And as you were talking about, we heard that, how IPL takes place for these 2.5 months. You've just got that 2 month space, and then also you are ready to sponsor a jersey like RCB, and Mumbai Indians for that matter. Now, Indian cricket team, they play a number of matches in a number of tournaments throughout the year. But even then, BCCI is struggling, isn't it? BCCI haven't gotten any jersey sponsor yet because we are knowing that Byju's won't continue with the Indian cricket team jersey. Now, how's that possible? In the Indian cricket team as well, there are a number of stars. We have Rohit Sharma, we have Virat Kohli, we have other Indian stars as well. So the star value is still there. What makes the difference? Is that the money?
So it is also, yeah, that's a very, very good question. Actually, at multiple levels, I'm thankful that you have put this question out, Suramya, because it's very important to know what is so different. I mean, in fact, if a Mahendra Singh Dhoni is associated with Chennai Super King, or Virat is associated with RCB, and Rohit is with MI, both Virat and Rohit together are with Team India, right? So the value should
Yeah,
actually be double, right?
yeah.
Now, see, value at what price? Okay, at what price? What am I getting in return? The question here, sponsor, no. See, I'll give you an example, Suramya. I was with one of a leading sports marketing company recently, and we were chatting up,
Okay.
and I said, listen, I mean, tell me, how does a brand, you know uh, envisage or think up a sponsorship deal in terms of numbers? Like, can you break down and tell me what could be, what is the ideal? Is there a rate chart in terms of
Hmm.
how a sponsorship deal is decided, right?
Hmm.
And in terms of how do you break down a result? For example, the what how do you break down the numbers in a sponsorship deal in order to suggest and say that, for this kind of money, these are the returns that came via the
Hmm.
sponsorship, right? There
Hmm.
is no formula as such to break down those numbers.
Hmm.
that
Okay.
that is literally, on the lines of beauty lying in the eye of the beholder. You
Hmm.
cannot break down the number and say, this is the money that has been put on the jersey, these are the returns. No, returns, what the return that Star would have envisaged for whatever 1.9 crore that they were paying
Hmm.
at that time, or 1.8, I forget the number, it's offhand today,
Okay.
vis-a-vis Oppo saying that we are ready to pay 5.5 crore rupees per 5.5 crore
Hmm.
per game for an
Hmm.
India bilateral. Why were Oppo willing to pay that kind of money? Well, Oppo must have thought that, they were looking at it from the idea of how many handsets that they might be looking to sell in India over the next
Hmm.
5 years, right? So
Hmm.
there was a, white goods driven business, maybe, while Stars association with Indian cricket to buy the jersey was not so much about selling a product as much
Hmm.
as capturing the idea of being associated with Indian cricket on all fronts, right? So to
Yeah.
each his own. They've
Hmm.
all had different ideas.
Okay.
Baiju, unlike Oppo, unlike Star, and unlike Sahara, Baiju was a
Hmm.
education edu startup, right?
Hmm.
Which
Yeah.
depended, their whole focus was about building numbers,
Hmm.
and I mean, obviously it was at one time India's most successful startup, and
Yeah.
uh, and in that, their whole idea of being associated, coming and associating with Indian cricket, was with the idea of, visibility, being out there in the eye of the
Yeah.
public. They were
Public.
diversifying into multiple other things. May or may not have worked out is a different subject of discussion. But
Hmm.
as I said, everybody was looking at it from a different perspective.
Different perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying that today the question that BCCI needs to ask is not what sponsor is thinking. What
Hmm.
exactly is the BCCI thinking? How exactly do they want to go about? I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Let us say a jersey sponsor is giving me 5 crore per game, okay?
Hmm.
And I'm in Team India, and I'm playing 50 matches per year, okay?
Hmm.
On an
Okay.
average. So I'm getting 250 crore from my jersey sponsor, right?
Jersey
Across the
sponsor.
year. Which is
Hmm.
4-year deal, how much? 1,000 crore. Big money.
1,000.
Big money,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Now, once I have sold a jersey for 1,000 crore, what is my fight? My fight is to keep the number going at 1,000. Either it
Hmm.
goes beyond 1,000. The moment it comes to 900 crore, what am I fearing? Oh, somebody is going to point a finger and say, see, they made a
Yeah.
loss making deal.
Loss
1,000
making
ka
deal.
tha, he brought it down to 900, right? He lost a
Yeah.
100 crore for Indian cricket, right?
Hmm.
Now, in trying to push those numbers, that's like a continuing headache that will never end.
Okay.
Where I think Indian cricket misses a point is, now I seek 1,000 crore from a sponsor, right?
Hmm.
What
Yeah.
am I giving the sponsor in return? I'll tell you how BCCI tends to think. By BCCI, I don't mean office bearers of the BCCI. They don't come here with the marketing hat. They are here as
Hmm.
administrators. There is a team that
Yeah.
looks into this marketing space. This
Hmm.
team, is hell bent on the thought process where, acha, my job is over. I have sold a jersey for 100 crores per
Yeah.
season. I'm done.
Hmm.
Now it doesn't matter. I'm giving you Indian team jersey. What else do you want? Right? So
Hmm. Yeah.
that arrogance was, I am Indian team and I am selling you
Hmm.
the jersey. You saw what if you're paying me money? There are 100 people waiting. It's the Indian team you're talking about, right? That
Yeah.
has not allowed the BCCI to go out to the market and think what is it that they can do for their partner.
Patna.
I
Yeah.
have touched upon this in one of my previous episodes. I'll say it again. Look at Baiju.
Hmm.
Don't bring into discussion right now whether Baiju was capable of paying, not paying, and all. It's a separate discussion. My point is, what did BCCI give in return to the money that Baiju was paying?
Hmm.
2 days. 2 days is
Yeah.
what in a year Baiju would get with the Indian team. Okay,
Hmm.
and that 2 days didn't mean anything. They couldn't even do a proper meet and greet with the players. They
Players.
couldn't
Yeah.
even plan an anthem sponsorship
Yeah.
program, brand campaign, nothing
Yeah.
with the Indian team.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember you were
I'm
talking about the
saying,
anthem last time. You talked about that
no,
anthem
I'm
last
saying
time.
yes. Yes.
Hmm.
So I'm saying when you're attracting a sponsor, when you're calling a sponsor, think about how you're going to make some returns possible. Now,
Hmm.
that is one. Second is I have steadfastly believed that it's not just about money all the time.
Hmm.
I have always said this, that Indian team jersey, the national team jersey, cannot be valued for 100 crore, 900 crore, 800 crore all the time. Money is
Yeah.
important. I am like, but you are getting money from everywhere else. No, you are getting money from broadcast, you're getting money from IPL. 50,000 crore rupees have come from IPL. That is
Yeah.
only for 4 5 years, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with that all that money? Sometimes
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
also about telling the world that my thought processes are varied. I'll for example,
Hmm.
I'll give you an example. I would want to do something for maybe some underprivileged section of the society,
Hmm.
and I would get a jersey sponsor,
Hmm.
whoever it is, XYZ company. I would get a
Okay.
sponsor in my jersey, even if it is at 500 crore, and I will say I don't want that 500 crore. Give
Yeah.
away that 500 crore to a needy cause, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Barcelona gave away their jersey to UNICEF,
Hmm.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Do so in if you're looking at a 4 year deal,
Yeah.
earn money for 2 years, give away the jersey for 2 years,
Yeah.
do something for the society, no? And I'm
Hmm.
saying, girl child,
Hmm.
it could be in line with doing something,
Yeah.
in that regard, or let's say, sponsoring. So let's say if it's the Olympics here,
Yeah.
BCCI gives its jersey away to the Olympic Association and says,
Yeah.
in the name of Olympic spirit, and whatever money goes towards Olympic sports
Hmm.
and infrastructure in that regard. So you have to look beyond the top dollar, and I think Indian
Hmm.
cricket is big enough today to start looking at things from that perspective.
So, Srini, are you suggesting that this is the solution that BCCI can look at? And there's a contrasting thing out there as well, because I remember you just mentioned that when you come down from 1,000 to even 900 mark, it hurts. That okay. I mean, how can we come down to that mark, right? Because we just have to move ahead of that mark. Now, in this way, if we see, so for example, BCCI are looking forward for a jersey sponsor. Now, is that jersey sponsor ready to pay how much Baiju's were paying? First thing. That second, is that a good solution that you were just right now suggesting, that whether it could be for the girl child cause or for some other cause, what is the solution? Because I remember you were talking about the solution a little while back, so this is the time where I really need to know what's the solution like.
So Suramya, like again, I mean, so what exactly is the Indian team wants to compete with RCB? The Indian team has to now compete with RCB, Chennai Super Kings, and Mumbai Indians in order to kind of find competition for the jersey. I don't think so. I
No.
don't think so. You can look at the big picture, and I would suggest that okay. I mean, it's a 5 crore per game is the going deal at which Baiju's had walked out, And
Hmm.
let's say if you're looking at 50 matches per season, we did the rough math, and it's 250 crores per season, so it's 1000 crores for a 4-year deal. And what is the BCCI wants? So okay, let me ask you this. Let me share it this way. Can the BCCI get 1000 crore? Maybe. Can it
Hmm.
get 800 crore? Definitely, definitely. Which
Okay.
which is still 500 times ahead of what any other national cricket team anywhere in the world is capable of. I'm not
Exactly. Yeah.
going into
But,
that way. I'm
but the
not
bigger
even going
question
there.
is, will BCCI accept it?
One
They
second.
will.
I'll complete this. I'll complete this. So, are you
Huh.
getting 1000? Maybe. Will you get 800? 100%. But will you get an 800 or 1000 ka figure for an entire 4 years? Tough. You'll get it for a year. Then next year again you have to go looking for someone. Right?
Okay. Hmm.
However, will I get a 500 crore deal for the next 10 years? Yes, I will. I'll get 5,000 crore. Right?
Hmm.
What do I
Hmm.
do? I sell, I mean, I divide my jersey. Okay.
Hmm.
I say on one half is whatever, one brand. On the other
Hmm.
half is another brand for a cause that I want to.
Hmm.
This cause that I'm, identifying with, I identify with that cause per season. Let's say
Yeah.
I only charge 100 crore, 100, I only charge 1 crore for that
Hmm.
cause that I'm, whichever sponsor wants to come, XYZ sponsor wants to
Okay.
come, I charge
Okay.
only 1 crore. Whatever that money comes, I give it away to that cause.
Hmm.
And the other side of the jersey, I charge another 1 crore, and that comes to Indian cricket. Think about it from that
Hmm.
perspective. Instead of wanting to sell the entire jersey for 5 crore, what will you do with that kind of money? You don't need that money. You don't need
Ah,
that kind of money.
right.
It's like,
Right.
I have a beautiful home. I have a beautiful garden in front of my house. Now,
Hmm.
now what do I do with that garden? Because I have this garden, I will kind of dig every year and kind of put fresh grass. You don't need to do that. You just need to
Yeah.
maintain the beautiful garden that you have. It's as simple as
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. This sounds like a very really good solution, because obviously you are doing everything in this sort of a solution, right? You are doing something for the right cause as well, and then you are earning money as well. So, but it's up to BCCI what they want to do, and we will get to know it pretty soon if we get to see who's going to be the jersey sponsor, because Baiju's will not be sponsoring Indian cricket team jersey. Yes, Srini.
There's another point I would like to add.
Huh.
Let's stick to business. I mean, since this is a business sports show, so let's stick to
Yeah.
the business side of it.
Yeah.
Another thing that makes me wonder all the time is what has BCCI done in terms of helping their merchandise partners?
Hmm.
Whether it's from a kid sponsorship point, look at Nike jerseys when Nike and BCCI were in association with each other.
Hmm.
This Nike jersey that Indian team, that Nike was manufacturing, the
Hmm.
price at which this was being sold, how many people in this country could have afforded the jersey?
Hmm.
Hardly.
Very,
You
very, very
needed to be,
true.
and Nike, and I can't blame Nike here. Nike was ready to find a solution for this. I can tell you that
Hmm.
for sure. Nike wanted to sit across the table and understand how they could go about. Should they get in a third partner on board to try and kind of make a brand, make a jersey which is available in a cheaper way to kind of a larger fan base.
Yeah.
So what BCCI must do while it looks for the space is also try and change their game from a merchandising aspect, right? I should
Okay.
be able to spend on an India jersey, whether it, I mean, I should be able to spend from 500 rupees to 5,000 rupees depending on what my budget is. Just
Hmm.
because I can't spend 5,000 rupees on a jersey doesn't mean that I cannot wear a Team India jersey,
Yeah.
right? And that
Yeah.
cannot be a fake jersey. So figure out
Hmm.
how exactly do you want to, just because you're selling the jersey space can't mean that you can't have a nice very cool bandana which talks
Hmm.
with your sponsor and BCCI logo on the top, or
Hmm.
trousers or something, but try
Yeah.
and find ways, get it to the market, do some
Right.
merchandising, put a marketing team in place, go out, seek responses from the crowd,
Yeah.
understand what the fan thinks.
Yeah.
BCCI never wants to do it. Remember our show, the Lala Syndrome?
The Lala syndrome. All through the while, I could actually think of the Lala syndrome, and let's see whether BCCI actually hears this out or not, and whether they plan to go out in the market and find a solution or not. But Srini, here we have talked about the jersey. I think we have touched this aspect of the problem as well in this episode. But I want to know what's left now. We have talked about the tender of the bilateral rights. We have talked about the jersey. Do you think that there is some other problem as well we need to address?
Next show we'll talk about it. Because see, I believe that if they manage to successfully close the jersey,
Yeah.
then right now all that Indian Team India, all that BCCI had to do from a Team India perspective and an IPL's perspective in terms of sponsorship, media rights, everything will be over.
Mm.
The jersey deal, the jersey sponsorship is the last of the chest
Yeah. Space.
space, right?
Yeah.
After that, I think the entire onus will shift, the focus and attention will shift to infrastructure.
Absolutely. Yes.
There, BCCI has some grand plans, and there, there it's not like some marketing team is required. Then the administrators are looking into it directly.
Mm.
In terms of, I can tell you, there's a brand new infrastructure coming up in Bangalore, the National Cricket
Mm.
Academy. It's going to be
Okay.
Indian cricket's own center of excellence, and
Okay.
a lot of other things coming up. So yeah, we can talk about it in the next show.
Yeah, let's save it. Let's save it for the next episode. We'll talk about the infrastructure. And actually, I gave this question to Srini because I know that he has a lot many things to talk about. What BCCI's plans are related to infrastructure. But I'm glad that we have addressed so many problems that rarely people talk about. And as Srini always say that it's not important to know all these things, but it's very important to question about a lot many things. So what's important is that you bring in a lot many questions and then you find out the answers, and that's what we really do in business of sports. Here we have talked about the jersey sponsor for Indian cricket team. Let's see who comes up as the new sponsor for the Indian cricket team jersey. Cricket Next already broke the story about the apparel sponsors, but now what we need to hear is the jersey sponsor. Thank you so much, Srini, for joining with me. It was fun chatting with you, and great to see you in this Sahara jersey, and also we saw that star jersey. It's so nostalgic.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure as always. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you. So I was in conversation with Network 18 Group Sports Editor K. Shriniwas Rao. He beautifully explained, that how the jersey story began, and from Sahara to Star to Baiju's, and now where we are and who will be the next jersey sponsor for the Indian cricket team. A lot many things we discussed about BCCI and what they really need to do. In ways to look out for a new jersey sponsor. Now, what do you think? You can also share with us in the comment section down below. And if you have any questions and if you have any doubts, you can also share with us. And if you want Srini to give answers of your questions, you can let us know in the comment section. Till then, you keep watching Cricket Next because we come up with all the latest updates and interesting topics only on Cricket Next.